Yeah, no worries.
All right, welcome back. Here we are with another match this afternoon for the CEA, the Collegiate side this time. Welcome back. I'm joined by BeoMulf. BeoMulf, why don't you tell us who is playing today?
Well, you know what? We have our number 2 and our number 3 seeded teams in this playoff bracket. Of course, this is the round of 4, so we got one more week of this tournament. But today we got something special for you. We have the UCSD Tritons, also known as Vindicta's team, versus UC Irvine Antis number 1, of course, the number 3 seed, led by Veritas as well. So we got a nice, pretty tasty Alpha X team kill possible here. And actually, you know what? It's not even possible. It's guaranteed. Have you had a chance to look at the matchups, Steadfast?
I have a little bit, yes. And, well, it's very interesting. A little bit actually unfortunate, I would say, for UC Irvine with that number 2 match being, as you said, an Alpha X team kill. And I would say probably the strongest 1v1 player for UC Irvine going up against Vindicta here in that number 2 match. That is not the kind of matchup that they were hoping for, I'm sure.
Absolutely not. When you have such a player disparity, or such a matchup disparity as a player like Vindicta provides, if you're the other team, you're not hoping to put your strongest player against him, because that's probably not going to work out. You want to put your strongest player against the other 1v1 slots, so you can end up 1v1 1-1. Now, in this situation, that's not guaranteed, as we will have No Name, also known as a Bonzer, or actually looks like he just set up his No Name here, play for Antis number 1 against Flume. Now, Flume, I think we've seen him once before. He played pretty well. He is a Masters 1 player, just about GM, Protoss player. And No Name, I don't know nearly as much about him. It looks like his highest rating is Diamond, but that doesn't mean anything, that he could have a different account. But the point being, it's far more likely now, or there's a much higher likelihood that UCSD is able to make their way out. Wow, this is true. That is a lot of people in the lobby. Anyway, make their way out of the 1v1 section of the first 4 maps 2 and 0, which is, well, that's never a fun thing. You don't want to leave it to that level of chance.
Yeah, most certainly not. It is it's a little bit tricky at any point where there's just a little bit of uncertainty. Now, I am pretty confident that No Name is a pretty highly ranked Terran player, if I'm remembering them, because I actually remember playing a clan war against them, I think, a while ago. But it could be a different player. Could definitely be a different player. But I would not surprise me if they're also in the high Masters range. Now, I have actually played Flume quite recently, and yeah, I can tell you he's a pretty solid player.
What can you tell me about his TVP or his PVT, Steadfast?
Well, having played him in PvZ, I can't tell you too much about his PVT, but he is 5.4K, which is very high. Very high. And looking at his Protoss versus Terran matchups, he does have a pretty good win rate this season, but of course, the sample size is pretty small. So you can't look at that and just be like, oh yeah, he's, best player in the league. You can't, or you can't say like, oh yeah, he's super, super good at PVT. It is a small sample size. It's only been about maybe 20 games, but that is promising for the UCSD team. And I mean, winning any matches where Vindicta's not involved is an extreme boon for UCSD and a very difficult situation for University of California, Irvine.
Now, you talk about that. You talk about extreme boons and everything. Winning games that Vindicta is not involved. You know what I find very interesting is that we do not see Vindicta in any of the predefined 2v2s. Now, if I remember the format properly, you're allowed to play more than 2 times, because this is a best of 7. You just cannot play in any format more than twice.
Yes.
So theoretically,
yeah.
Theoretically, Vindicta could play this 1v1, could then play a 2v2, and then they could save him for Oh no, you're only allowed to play in one ace. Does that work out? Does that math out? No, it doesn't. So then they could save him for that. They could theoretically have him in game 6, as the 2v2 ace as well. So it's interesting that they're opting not to do that, going instead with their more time-honored 2v2 teams that they have gone for.
Yeah, that would make a little bit more sense. But I am still surprised because a player like Vindicta could absolutely carry a 2v2. As long as, you know, his ally is pretty decent, but it's very possible that they're like, no, we want to guarantee these wins that he's in, and a way to do that is to put it in a 1v1 format. 2v2s, even when, you know, on paper they're very strong, there's always a little bit of uncertainty when two players are going up against two players. It's just, and that's, I mean, how they've lost in the past, UCSD. So I understand sticking with him to the 1v1s for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Point of fact, the University of Chicago game from last week where we had Chicago's top 2 players, by far the best 2 players in that best of 7, almost got taken out because their opponents were just a little bit more familiar with the format. All right, looks like we are remaking. So
yes, yeah, I wanted to make sure until one of the players leaves, I will never leave a lobby. And I'm always gonna make sure, because it's
once burned, twice shy. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. It made sense. Oh yeah, we're on West. It's 2 University of California teams, but this is COVID gaming, and I don't know if California is anything like Dartmouth. I would not be surprised if they were, because I believe they're on a quarter system as well. We're on a term system, so our last day of classes was this Tuesday. So I know a lot of students have already left campus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I would not be surprised. I don't even know whether UCI and UCSD had on campus courses this semester, this term. But anyways, it does not surprise me in the slightest that we have players from different time zones.
Yeah, it definitely checks out. It makes sense. Just give okay.
Steadfast, the host of not only of this stream, but the host of the lobby. Steadfast, don't let that power go to your head.
It already has. It already has. I'm going to just kick everyone out of this lobby. I'm going to ban everyone. You know, it's just... Oh, see, there we go. I'm already failing in my duties.
It's not as bad as when you're the caster or something. You got, like, I don't know. You got Beyond versus Stats, and you're sitting there in the player slot, and you're like, I don't want to do this. I mean, I do. It'd be kind of cool to play either of them, but I don't want to do this. Not on stream.
Right?
It'd be terrible.
Yeah. Oh God, it's nerve-wracking. You're like, you play worse sometimes. You're like, oh, I hate this. Everyone's judging me. I don't like it. But of course, it is fun in its own way. It's exhilarating, and I hope these 2 players do feel the same. I would be surprised if they don't.
See, Steadfast, here's the thing. All you gotta do is have no viewers, and then you don't have to worry about anyone judging you on stream.
Big brain gaming moments. All right, and speaking of big brain gaming, let's see if this player spawning up in the top right can unlock that Invoke It, representing the University of California, Irvine. It is No Name.
And in the upper left, in the red, plunging forth from the sea for UCSD, for the Tritons, it's Flume. You know, Flume is almost, there was almost some joke to be made there about like a plume of whatever, but I feel like Flume almost sounds like it's some sort of hydrodynamic thing. But I don't believe it is. This makes me sad.
I think log flume is like it's like a water ride, right?
I have no idea. When I Google the word flume.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember playing playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and the log flume was one of the rides there. It was pretty neat.
Well, that flew right over my head, so it's all good.
Beautiful. You have officially graduated. You are now the fear dragon of this cast. Excellent.
Most excellent. I mean, I also work in tech, so it's fine as dandy. It's the same thing. Literally, if you put a picture of Fear Dragon next to a picture of me, you could not tell the difference. Although his green screen's a little bit nicer, so I guess that's the differentiation. Other than that, literally no difference whatsoever.
Agreed. We do see a very, very quick double gas coming down from No Name here. And that is going to mean that this is at least a little bit of a one-base build. Ooh, this is an SCV that's moving out to a very suspicious location. And, of course, this is one of those maps. The name seems very appropriate where people may not be all that familiar with it. Bamboozle. Oh, my God.
Oh.
What?
I'm sitting here about to ask you, hey, how do you feel about Hellions inside of a main base without going through the natural? Because drops are fun, but this is double fact, and this SCV may still go proxy a starport. We're not going to see. No, there's no way. My thought goes to like Blue Flame Hellion drops, but there's no way that's a thing, right?
For me, this feels like double Cyclone. He is getting a tech lab, so we'll see if he does get that Blue Flame upgrade or if it's going to be right into Cyclone production. This is crazy right now, though. I am so intrigued by what we're about to see. Oh, and okay, my God, it's a tank. What?
So that SCV that was down in the suspicious position is not going to proxy, just running out on the main base, looking for a scout. So as we see no starport yet, this is still on one base. I was thinking, oh yes, it's gonna be mech, but forgetting of course that there is no natural here whatsoever. So we're gonna see a rather committed push, a massive tank push coming in from No Name off of one base in this game. I think.
100% it is. I just like the concept of rather committed, like double factory tank on one base. He's already got his third siege tank on the way at the 330 mark. Like, that's insane. This is going to be so aggressive.
I do like the fact that there are a bunch of stalkers on the map. However, they're not really where they need to be. The goal here for Flume in this game, of course, with these stalkers out on the map, is going to be to delay the push from his opponent as much as possible, to force them siege and unsiege, to allow you to get that much more time to get things done. And it's worth remembering here that these Marines, they have no upgrades, right? So there's going to be no stim, nothing like that. This entire push hinges upon the strength of these tanks. Now, the stalkers, they were looking around for proxy, but now we do have them moving across the map in towards the center. I would like to see them just really get super aggressive here. Because, of course, the best offense is a good defense. Now, there is a robo done, but Flume is getting... Actually, no, he should be fine on the supply perspective, but I would like to see some Immortals on the way here. But this is not just a bunch of tanks. We have an SCV pull coming in here, and unfortunately, the first time that Flume is really going to be able to defend this is pretty much when it hits his base. And that is not the situation you want to be. You want to force the siege ups as often as possible. Now, the Stalkers, they will sit on the high ground here, and I do like this, because they should be able to even potentially snipe one tank. Actually, no, they're going to move onto the low ground now. And they may be able to get one of these tanks. But no, not with these three tanks. But they have forced a little bit of a siege, a little bit of delay, which means we're going to have a couple sentries. We're going to have an Immortal, and we will have time for the shield battery to complete. So, of course, the longer that Flume sandbags this, the better it is for him. Nice scan. That got one observer, not the second. Okay.
Oh, it actually almost gets another one, but a nice force field right here will trap a lot of these Marines. Tanks from the low ground are shelling away very heavily. Oh man, Flume, I don't think that was the play. 7 Marines for 5 Stalkers and a sentry.
Oh, but he's gonna be able to get one of these tanks. He's gonna be able to get the second one as well, and only one. Oh, well, nope. Now with the tank on the left-hand side, that is suddenly these trades that look good for a second, not turning out all that well. But of course, there are 3 total gates, 2 more on the way. The longer this lasts, again, Flume is in a pretty good position. Now there are only 3 tanks on the map, not the massive amount we saw earlier. Nope, 4 tanks. I apologize. Thank you for that zoom out there. But less Marines, so less buffer.
We are seeing these tanks slowly but surely move forward. Oh, and there it is, the big pro pull coming down. We are going to see a battery overcharge, but it's a little bit out of range. But now there's nothing to actually prevent the tanks from getting jumped upon. It's probes and SCVs, but there's just too many Immortals in the background, and that is going to be a very strong hold for Flume right there. But No Name putting together a surprisingly frightening push.
Absolutely, that was a scary one. Definitely one of those things that you're just kind of staring that they're flummoxed as it comes in on you, and then you realize how scary it is. But great job there from Flume, sandbagging it out, making sure that he had enough, he had what he needed to defend, and of course, small little differences there in that game. He sent I believe he sent like a Stalker and a Zealot. No, he sent the Zealot out forward to eat all of the tank shots first. Before everything else goes in. Of course, that meant that the rest of his army, all of his probes were able to survive, were able to make contact with the tanks, and that was really what made the difference there. But hey, we're ready for game 2, just about, and this is the big one. UCSD does have that 1-0 lead. The tailored build that Flume put together in game number 1 really not finding itself where it needed to be. And now Vindicta this is where it gets a little scarier. And it's only game 2, but I don't think it's too early to say that this is getting rather scary for UC Irvine.
Oh, absolutely. I would say, yeah, this is already a little bit of a dicey scenario for them. Now, it's not 100%. It's not like them losing the first 2 maps is they can't win from there. But it does put them into a really uncomfortable position where their 2v2 team is really going to have to basically win out. Like, they're going to have to win both of their 2v2s to have, I would say, to have a realistic shot at this series. And that's very possible. That's very possible, but it's not an easy feat.
Yeah, I would agree. The number 1 2v2 team that they have set forward for themselves is very good. But I seem to remember their second string 2v team is not quite as strong as the University of Chicago's other teams like that. But hey, we're just going to have to see what turns out.
Absolutely, we will. And spawning down in the bottom left position, it is the challenger from UC Irvine. Give it up for Veritas. Also a member of Alpha X.
Yep, and in the upper right, he may not be the truth, but he is the vengeance. It's Vindicta.
And, well, they know each other. They're friends. They're on the same team, but they are a little bit mismatched in terms of skill. Now, Veritas is one of the players. If I had to choose any other player to go up against Vindicta with you must win, Veritas would be on that short list for sure. But
absolutely, it is Vindicta.
It is Vindicta.
I think Veritas is on Alpha X's semi-pro team, and Vindicta is a full-on professional player. He is a DreamHack player. He has taken games off of Scarlet, off of Neeb, off of Future. So he is he's pretty well-rounded. There's not any matchup in my mind that I particularly think of as him struggling against. Although TVT, it can be weird. It can always be weird. So there is the opportunity for Veritas. I would say Veritas maybe has a better chance in this mirror matchup than he does in an asymmetric matchup, when there are really in general when you see skills desynced. I think for the most part you do see maybe a little bit more of a chance for the underdog to come out in mirrors, but that's just from my experience from what I've seen.
I will say this is kind of nice for Veritas. He does capture and trap the one SCV of Vindicta here, and he's going to be able to pick that off for free, so that's kind of nice. Of course, he does get a full scout, Vindicta does, and sees that quick double gas. Wants to check in and make sure that, yeah, you pulled off gas right here. Now, an interesting little mind game right now would be if Veritas actually resaturated those gases and went for one base all in. But I don't think he wants to put it into a scenario where micro is the biggest deciding factor of who wins the game, because Vindicta is an extraordinarily strong micro player.
He is. His micro is impeccable, and it's interesting. There's kind of a carousel of TVT builds. There we do have the bunker coming down. There's a carousel of TVT builds where you have Proxy Reaper, you have a Gas First, and you have Reaper Expand. And the way it's kind of been working recently is Proxy Reaper beats Reaper Expand, beats gas first, for the most part. Interesting. Oh, you know what that? Oh, I think what Veritas did there was he had the he had the barracks hotkeyed with the Reapers, but now we do have a Reaper fight going on here. And this is 2 Reapers versus 1, so Veritas has the opportunity to get something done. He will be able to delay that starport, and that's rather nice. Now get onto the low ground, maybe pick off another SCV. Actually get the Reaper there, but now with the bunker, that's going to be not a thing. But of course, Reapers do eventually regen. But yeah, with the Hellion there.
Oh,
nice micro there from Veritas. Good try, but Reaper line will still happen.
Yeah, that was good micro and counter micro. Veritas tries to split the Reapers up. Vindicta kind of predicts it a little bit and gets in there and still lines up the shot. So very almost a skill shot with that Hellion right there from Vindicta, and he does clean those up. But 2 more SCVs going down for 2 Reapers. I mean, it's not bad. We have Veritas actually up 4 workers right now, and he's in a decent little spot.
Absolutely, and yeah, that is up 3 to 4 workers, despite the fact that his orbital on his natural was not yet done. So now with 2 SCV production here, we should see that lead continue, maybe even grow just a little as macro cycles do happen. And the Reaper will be denied, and this is a pretty cool thing. This is something I've seen. Oh, who have I seen do this? There are some players that really like to do this, where they just go for a cyclone drop. Okay, nice move there. That one Hellion getting a worker really should not get any workers. And apparently we don't have DreamHack. We don't have Gameheart again. But now we do have 4 Marines and a Cyclone. They're just going to move across the map. No, it's Clem. I think it's Clem that does this, where it's just it's a little bit of something. Whatever you got, you stick it in a medevac, and you just try to snipe things. So for instance, if he drops on top of the Cyclone and these 2 Marines, he should be able to get that, because of course there's healing, and he just has to hope the Cyclone doesn't lock onto his medevac. But really the whole point here is you put a little pressure on, you make sure that you maybe trade something off, you get a favorable trade, and just make use of that spare APM that you may or may not, that you may have waiting for you as you just get your macro set up at home.
Yeah, and Veritas finds himself a nice little pocket right here to get something done. Ooh, good job with the Cyclone. And Medevac lifts off into that. Oh, but now he gets a little bit overzealous with that Medevac. But yeah, he does get away. Still, though, that's... He wants to be getting something done with this. He doesn't... 1 Medevac is a small commitment. 2 Medevacs plus a tank is a very large commitment. That's something you got to be very careful with. But he is up 6 workers right now. Veritas is in the lead in this game, absolutely.
Oh, that was a tank in there, not a Cyclone. I saw the thing and I said, oh, okay, it's double Cyclone. This makes a lot more sense. So now we have the tank sieging up on the low ground, but now, oh, the Vikings are here, and the Vikings are, they're going to shoot everything off. And that is suddenly this nice position that Veritas had found himself in becomes a lot less advantageous, and he will be forced to go home. But again, he's at 5 workers, so that is not a bad situation here. But he does not have Stim. He's starting 1-1. Stim is about halfway done here for Vindicta, and I think Vindicta's realized that, hey man, you've overstepped your bounds just a little. I don't think Vindicta is going on for a full-scale push at this point. I think this is more to establish his third. Actually, as I say that, no, this is a full-on push that is going to serve to establish his third base. And the question is whether Vindicta will be able to defend it. Now, Vindicta will have Stim by the time this push is starting in earnest. Veritas will not. And what is our tank count at? 1 tank to 3. So Vindicta has a terrifying army here that will be able to prevent Veritas from being able to land his third base, at least for quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a really annoying technical push, and there's a lot of air control with it. The Viking lead does go in favor of Vindicta, and he's going to be able to pick off at least this supply depot, grabs a worker that's on its way, kind of lost right there, and like you said, going to be denying that third command center from landing for a while. Nice scan from Vindicta, will spot his opponent's army. And, oh, even another SCV going down right there. And now, oh, this is a neat little random Cyclone. Actually going to be picking off 2 workers right there. But this is really difficult right now for...
The Raven was able to find his way around and will be able to disable only 1 tank, unfortunately, though. And Stim is not done. So this fight, it looked pretty cool. It looked like Veritas had found the opening he was looking for, but unfortunately he was not able to do so as the Raven goes down. And now we have the army of Vindicta fighting its way on into the natural. This was a bit of an anti-timing. Stim is not yet done. So yes, 1-1 in Stim will be done rather quickly, but by this point, Vindicta will have taken dominant position in the natural. Veritas sitting here on 1 base, and looks like the Cyclone is still getting... Oh, there's a drop on the other side of the map. Will is dropping on top of this tank, so maybe that's something, but that will not work out. And GG, Barrett Vindicta taking his team up 2-0 in this series as we move on to the 2v2s.
Yes, that was a really, really dominating push from Vindicta right there. But Veritas played a solid opening. He was looking okay until all of a sudden he wasn't.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you commit, you commit hard to make sure that you're able to get something done, and then it doesn't work out, and you don't get the damage you need, and suddenly your opponent is in that advantage, or is in that advantageous position that you thought you possibly had. Granted, I don't think any of us expected Veritas to win that game. I think that was just kind of a gimme when we saw that happening. But now it's going to be Veritas and No Name versus Tradition and Sweet for our first 2v2 matchup on Roscallion.
Yes, it is going to be. This is where they need to make up ground. This is where UC Irvine really needs to dig in their heels and get something rolling. Because theoretically, if we have Flume and Vindicta play in the ace matches once again, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that they'll both win. But it's, if Vindicta is able to win, which is a really strong possibility, and then you have this terror in the GM Protoss player in Flume, already you're kind of out of maps right there. So you have to, at the very least, I think, win both of these 2v2s.
You have to win these two 2v2s. You have to win ace number 1. You have to win ace number 2. That's the question, though. If it's 2-2, does UCSD burn Vindicta in ace number 1 to get them to 3-2, force them to a ace maps 2v2 in which they could use Vindicta again?
They can use him again in ace map number 2?
I believe they could, because you can only play in each format twice. So Vindicta would have his 1-1v1. Because there's a team of 3, there's no other way you could get to 7 games. So I believe they could use him in the 1v1 and the 2v2 ace. I'm not totally sure.
That would make sense. That would make sense. Yeah, because with across three 2v2s, you would have to do each set of 3 players. So you do A, B, AC, and then BC. If there was only 3 players that were allowed to play.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The math gets complicated, but it makes sense what you're saying. All right, and well, enough about that brain drain on stream. The silliness, the absolute audacity of doing math on stream. But we have spawning up in the top right, looking to put themselves into a stranglehold 3-0 lead. It is the Terran player Sweet and his ally Dr. Addition, or Dradition, I'm still not sure, representing UCSD.
And in the bottom right, in the blue, representing UC Irvine, looking to fight his way back for his team. In the blue, it's Veritas. And his partner in the red, the bane of Cyclopes everywhere, it's No Name. Although I guess Odysseus was No.1, not No Name. But anyway, it's translations. It's fine.
Oh my God. We're seeing a command center first in a 2v2. That is bonkers. With a 2-gas build from Veritas. Very, very interesting right here. You can do some things that maybe you can't do in other matchups in this matchup. And, well, we're going to be seeing a 2-racks semi-defensive Reaper from Sweet. And Tradition is going to be going for a standard hatch first. So we have two command center first builds, or 2 town center first builds, and then 2 a little bit more aggressive builds. Very interesting.
Yeah, the goal. Agreed, especially with this 2-racks here. Of course, the second barracks has been hidden behind that line of sight blocker. A callback to maps pass, not something we really see in 1v1. Whoa, is that a second? That is a second reactor. This is going to be a rather powerful marine timing we see coming in from Tradition here. From Sweet is what I gotta assume that's for.
I was gonna say no. I think this is actually mass Reaper. Oh, this SCV.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh no, he's not gonna go through. He's gonna go for the smoke.
Oh, he's gonna.
Oh, that's a huge scout.
And I was sitting there. First of all, I for some reason forgot that gas exists apparently, but yeah, I guess you can support 4 Reapers on 2 gas. Generally, you see it with 4 barracks. I don't know why he went for the reactors there, but This is going to be a rather powerful push. Now, the thing is, of course, Sweet has been scouted. Veritas knows that there is gas. He knows that there are 2 reactors there, and he will see this Reaper. He will see the 2 Reapers come on in when they do what they can to kill his Reaper here. Veritas cannot afford to lose this, but he will anyways. And now we're going to see the snowball continue. What is Veritas going to do in exchange? Looks like a Marauder on the way along with his second barracks.
Yeah, that is a decent decision right there. I was going to say, with an engineering bay coming down, I think this is going to be a planetary, and that is exactly what we see. But planetaries do not defend the back of your base, and there's nothing on the map right now for No Name.
That is rather unfortunate. You know, his friend does have the ability to do things. Now, we do have 1 Marauder, 1 Reaper here coming on in. Unfortunately for our blue Terran player, concussive shells are not done yet. But even then, Veritas with some very nice micro will be able to keep his friend alive. Make sure that not too many workers do go down. Only two workers from No Name dying here, and he has a decent worker lead on pretty much everyone on the map. Although not for much longer as this continues to happen. But now with all of these Hellions coming in, he should be a-okay to make sure they survive. And another Reaper will trade his life.
Yeah, this is a very, very committed play from Sweet right now. He is expanding, but he's building 2 more barracks as well. And we may actually... Oh, wow, that planetary fortress. I was not prepared for that. And neither was Sweet. 4 kills on that bad boy in the blink of an eye. How many... Yeah, he just lost like 4 Reapers right there. That's a disaster.
It's not good. But in the words of someone famous, who does that with a planetary in the natural? Certainly No Name has, and it has worked out for him thus far when his opponents are being that aggressive. And oh man, this is... Oh, I don't even know. This is some PTSD from the jank ladder games when you get just gacked by a Terran who is just confusing you. We have a fusion core on the way off of a natural planetary. This is I have experienced this before. I have died to this. Granted, as a 3rd player, but it's just one of those things that you're just sitting there confused and then you die to it. Now the Reapers, they are getting good work done here, and Veritas No Name not really doing the best job of making sure that they're in position. How many workers are going to go down? 6 more workers have died. 6 workers for 10 SCVs for 12 Reapers. In all honesty, I think that was actually pretty good for our blue and red team, as they have their naturals. Blue Flame is just about done. We have 2 factory we have 2-port battle cruiser off of a planetary natural.
Yeah, this is just all kinds of gross right now from No Name. He is playing that scumbag Terran. You know the one. You're like, ugh, you again? Ugh, I don't want to deal with this. But it is going to be super effective. Queens and Lings will shoo away these Hellions from the red Terran player. I don't think... Okay, they have seen the double starport. Okay, so this Spire is going to be used. Wow, that was a lot of diva talking right there. This Spire is going to be used for Corruptors, most likely. So getting that scouting information, very, very handy. But this is a very weird situation.
Yeah, so this is mech from both players. So we have ground mech, sky mech coming in from our blue and red team, and I can't say I hate it. So against when you most Zerg strategies when dealing with mech, it kind of rely on this idea of maybe not letting the Terran player get to 200, get above 150 supply. All right, is kind of the idea there. And interestingly enough, we don't see a Yamato. Okay, I don't know why he did just sit on that hill, but anyway, we don't see Yamato cannon on the way just yet.
No, we do not, which is very bizarre. There we go. There's the big stim coming in. Going to try and go after these BCs, but they will be able to micro away. They actually pick off a lot of Marines right there, but here are the Corruptors. And with that damage that's already been done to the hull of these BCs, I think both of them are going to go down for a very small trade. Oh, absolutely. He is going to get that Corruptor away. That is nice micro.
Yeah, the downsides of teleporting into your main base at this point in the game with no scouting. Well, their Corruptors are out on the map. Now we have Yamato on the way, but Veritas, I thought he was good mech. I saw the blue flame. I think I saw a second factory. I did see a second factory, but no. This is Bio behind this with Drilling Claw Widow Mines. Okay, this natural does need to be defended.
A little bit late on the reaction time right here, but that should be enough to keep it alive, even with those Corruptors fully charged up. And it looks like one Corruptor, the wounded one from earlier, does finally go down, but yeah, they will defend that planetary. Yeah, that was a little bit over-ambitious. Oh, this is interesting. And very bold with Corruptors on the map right here. A Drilling Claw Widowmine's drop coming through.
Well, you got to remember, in 2v2 maps, they are so much bigger. Yeah, they are so much bigger than 1v1 maps. So yes, even with Corruptors on the map, patrolling, I'm sorry. Let me pause myself. We have 2 more starports on the way for No Name. He's going to 4 starport battlecruiser.
I would like to declare this game illegal. I would like it stricken from the records. Oh my god, here come the Drilling Claw Widowmines. Nice splits actually from Dr. Addition. And he only loses 4 drones right there, but now into the natural they come. Oh, that was the shot. 5 drones and another 2. Make it a total of, what is that, 12 drones right there?
11.
11 drones going down. And, well, that is a pretty effective usage of a Drilling Claw Widowmine drop. Now, I don't think that the Zerg Terran team has yet identified that this is 4-port BC. I
don't even know if I saw the 4 ports I would identify as 4-port BC, because I don't think I have ever seen that. Now, nice Yamato's there. A couple Corruptors will go down. And this is kind of how you want to use battlecruisers at this point in the game. You just trade, you kill off the you kill off the important things, and then you go from there. Now, we do have a +1 air attack on the way now, but only 2 battlecruisers at a time. You would, I guess... Oh, nice run by with the Bluefin Hellions. They will be able to get I think they got 9 SCVs there. Maybe get a couple more as things end up. But the interesting thing is No Name, because he has gone for Planetary Fortresses at his natural and his third, is really lacking on that mineral income that you would normally expect to see a Terran player have. So, yes, he has the gas he needs to continue to build these battlecruisers, but he does not have the minerals.
No, he does not, and that is a very big problem. You really did identify it with the lack of those orbitals, causing a big problem. And he has lost SCVs throughout this game. Oh, big stim coming in. This is a dead battlecruiser. Oh, nice pickoff right there from Sweet.
Yes, battlecruisers do have a ton of armor. Absolutely, they're pretty good against Marines when upgraded. But these were 1-1 Marines. And that was a battlecruiser by itself fighting the entire yellow army just about all at once. So not exactly the best trade. Now we do have... Okay, so this is why I'm a little bit confused at the production tab. No Name is just heinously supply blocked. I believe he does actually have production on all 4 all 4 starports, but he's forgotten the fact that battlecruisers are a ton of supply. What is it, 6 supply per battlecruiser?
I believe like so, yeah. They are expensive supply-wise. That's really their biggest weakness is the supply. Of course, they are expensive units overall, but, oh, this is a little interesting. A lot of Yamatos being used.
Yeah, he's just going to snipe the hatchery with the Yamatos. That's very much a TY build there as he goes on, and now +1 is done. So these battlecruisers, they hit a lot harder as they attack so gosh darn fast.
That they do. Couple of Hydras going down, and now the recall after just causing carnage in the Zerg base right there. They will just teleport right on out like nothing even happened. They're like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We weren't there. Nope. Didn't do it. Can't prove it.
Now, I do think it's interesting that we do see Vindicta. He has gone for Bio here. And generally, or for Marine Tech, and generally with that, you would expect the Bio player to be a little bit more active on the map. Oh no, as there's a full massive surround here coming in, but now the battlecruisers are going to be able to Yamato down the tanks. Now, of course, Marine's going to stem on top of things, but did they get a single battlecruiser there? I don't believe they did. And now Veritas has found a wonderful position. The entire army of Sweet evaporating. Yes, he has a couple medevacs left behind, but you need more than that to be able to defend this massive amount of soon-to-be 2-2 Marines.
Yeah, that was a huge play right there. Oh, he forgot +2 armor, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, I apologize. It is, in fact, just 2-1 Marines. But now we have 2-2 battlecruiser on the way as well. And No Name just continues to run into his supply block issues because, yeah, when you're building 24 supply at a time, that is understandable.
Yeah, it does not take much. And, oh, tank a little bit isolated right here. Not enough Marines to cover it, and now this base is under extreme duress. In fact, two bases really are. Corruptors will find these VCs, but who's finding who is the question, as No Name is going to be able to cast some Yamatos once again and blink on out as another base goes down. This is looking really good for UC Irvine to put themselves on the board. Oh, and a big stim forward, but yeah, there's a couple of tanks and wow, too many Marines back there. But this is still a really, really strong position for the red-blue team right now.
Absolutely. Veritas will say thank you very much for your base, for all of your add-ons, for a couple, I believe you probably killed a couple SCVs there, as that drop only just now getting cleaned up. That was, you know, I think we both took our cameras away from that because we assumed it was going to get cleaned up, but it lasted far longer than it had any right to. But now all the corruptors on the right-hand side are going to go away.
Yeah. Yes, they are. I think these... Oh, no, these do not have their teleport on cooldown. And one of them will go down, but a lot of Corruptors going down as well. Meanwhile, big fight in the middle of the map. There is a good amount of 2-2 Roach Hydra. And Lurker... Oh, he burrowed the wrong things. I've done this before and lost games because of it. Whenever I go Lurkers, I don't like to research burrow. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I can... Yeah, same. Now we have 4 Hydras on hold position. Excellent micro there from Dr. Edition. Looks like he has realized that he burrowed the wrong things and should be able to burrow the Lurkers rather quickly. But honestly, against this, well, does he have Hive? He does. So we should see some Vipers on the way, and that's when things are going to get a little bit scary. Lurkers by themselves against Marine Tank Battlecruiser, not all that great. Lurkers against Marine Tank Battlecruiser when there are a bunch of Vipers. Actually, with the amount of Battlecruisers here, I don't even know if I like that. I feel like, oh, we just have a massive teleport. Where is it going? Oh, no, not all that much further. It teleported about 2 feet forward. But it does now own the high ground. Veritas, No Name, they own the high ground here, which means they will be able to absolutely dominate this position on the right-hand side, be able to take out 2 bases at once. And bear in mind, these are 2-2 battlecruisers. They hit like a Mack truck.
Yes, they do. And the Yamato cannons erasing those Corruptors. And tanks on the high ground, shelling away at the Marines on the low ground. Hydra's coming in for a flank, but it's too little too late. And No Name and Veritas are up a combined over almost 200 supply at this point. And they are absolutely going to take down game number 3, despite a bit of a slugfest right there. Massive bloodbath. But ultimately, we got ourselves a series on our hands.
We do. It's now 2-1. And I gotta say, looking at who we have ready, well, sorry. Let me revert my statement. I am worried about game number 4 for UC Irvine. From what I remember, Jackie Wang, I think how you pronounce that name, is not the highest rated player. So I do believe that the Kandrew Matfist team has been more successful. This is set up as a 4v4.
Oh, that's not what you want. Oh, I can change the mode. Haha. I am the lobby host. The mighty, mighty lobby host. Kneel before me. And Kandrew and Matfus. Burning Bridges. Is this the correct map?
Yes.
So I've got...
Unless there is another Burning Bridges. Yeah, no, this is the right one.
This is the right one?
This is the correct one.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, go on.
I wonder if this is when this is in 2v2 mode, is it locked to cross spawns?
I am not sure. Now Kian. Okay, perfect. They're telling me the nicknames of themselves that are not what they actually are. I'm like, this doesn't help me,
man,
guys. Come on.
I did a 2v2 tournament for the NA Apprentice 2v2 Cup, which was a pretty cool tournament actually. And I think of the teams that signed up, there were 8 total teams. It was a group stage and went on to playoffs. And of the teams that signed up, I think only 2 players actually played under their real names. Only one, if we consider the fact that apparently for 2v2 tournaments, Dear Geeling calls himself Loki.
Ugh. Why? Oh man. Okay, I just have to say Korean players are the worst when it comes to the branding of their names. Korean players in special. But he kind of like acts as a Korean player, so it all makes sense.
I mean, he's a Korean Terran at this point. Yeah.
But yeah, they are the worst because so they're so used to from Brood War using their real names, which is totally normal, totally reasonable. But like the concept of foreigners addressing the Korean players by their actual in-game IDs makes this like very weird weird dichotomy from what they were expecting. So there's always just this confusion that comes about, and it makes for some really really surprised Korean players when they're like, wait, what do you mean? Like they want to know, like no, I picked a random name out of the dictionary, and that's what it was. Like my name means literally poop fart, like, and like I'm not kidding. Like there's like like boong boong, like boong boong is like it means like poop. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It's so ridiculous. All right, here we go. We are getting into game number 4 here. Spawning down in the bottom left. Representing UCSD. It is the... Oh, no, sorry. Wow, I didn't even look at the mini-map. I was looking at the other thing. Representing UCI. It is the Zerg player, Naokian. And his ally, Lumon. The Terran.
And on the other side of the map, in the pink, representing the UCSD Tritons, it's Kandrew, also known as Watame. And his partner in the green, rounding us out, it's Matfus. And you know, I feel the need to amend my statement. For some reason, I was thinking there's another player that has a similar name to Jackie Wang, or Jachi Wang, on Gilded, who plays primarily 2v2s and is a lower skill player. Now Kian is not. So this actually is looking just based off of ladder rankings, which don't mean a whole lot when we're looking at 2v2s on a week of preparation. But that being said, this is looking a lot better for your Irvine's opportunity to tie this up on a 2v2, purely looking at race borders, or purely looking at league borders. But again, not that big of a deal when we look at the fact that these teams have had a week to prep, to study each other. They've been playing this all season. The synergy is a whole lot more important when the rankings are this close.
Yes, it is quite critical, quite crucial. But, you know, you're never going to have 2 Gold League players beat 2 Grandmaster players. That's something that just won't happen. But when it's, you know, 2 Diamonds versus 2 Masters, or, you know, a Diamond and a Master versus even 2 Grandmasters sometimes, 2 low Grandmasters, that's not as big of a disparity as some people might think. And that is where that, as you said, synergy really comes into effect.
Oh, man. I agree with what you're saying. We'll get back to that in a second. But, man, the map assets on this map are really cool with the flame jets everywhere, because burning bridges, that makes sense. Massive shout out. Of course, this map is one of many made by Character, who is one of the more proliferous. That's not a word.
Prolific?
Yes, thank you. There we go. One of the more prolific map makers. I believe some of his maps are on the 1v1 ladder as well. But anyway, cool dude and a great map maker. So this map's pretty cool. Oh, nice job there with Watame's Stark coming in at the last second. But anyways, you were talking about relative skill and how what affects 1v1 versus 2v2. It should be pointed out that earlier on in this season, I don't remember what the pairing was, but we had a gold and a masters, gold and a diamond player knock off double masters.
Yep, I remember that.
Because they just did a really sharp build.
Yep.
So it can happen, absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a treat to watch, and that adds such an X factor to this league. In addition to, of course, playing these a little bit wonkier maps sometimes. It's really makes for an interesting and entertaining event, I would say.
This is quite correct. So we do have a rather quick layer coming in for Nalcan. I didn't quite catch the timing at the very beginning. This is a third base behind this. I would say 2 base Muta, but it's only 2 gas. So are we going to see some sort of weird Nidus battlecruiser thing coming on in here?
You know, that is very possible. You can, of course, drop the Nidus network, go on into your opponent's main base, and then blink the battlecruiser in with it. And that does create a very interesting scenario. Okay, no, it is going to be a Spire. Okay.
But
Weird.
it's only off of 2 gas, which is rather interesting. Generally, if you go 2 base Spire, you get 4 gas rather quickly, right around that, I was going to say right around that 4850 supply. I guess that's where we are now, but this was just such a fast layer compared to what you would normally see. I don't know, maybe I just have my timings mixed up in my head because this is 2v2, and you can feed your opponent resources, and things get a little bit weird.
Yeah, he may be playing this just as a little bit more of a macro play right now, and really focusing on getting up to a good drone count before going up to that 3rd and 4th gas. He already does have, 500 gas in the bank, so it's not like he's not going to have a big shock of first shock of mutas. It's just, yeah, kind of a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah, but it's and you know what I think it also is. At least there's the possibility that his partner has just fed him the gas he needs. That's not something we see all that uncommon, but I don't think that's the case here. As we do have a battlecruiser on the way and Yamato, so we have Mutamac coming in from our double blue team. As there's a big, a fairly large stalker contingent with the drop moving on to the other side of the map, looking to be aggressive from Matfus Watame. And unfortunately, it looks like these stalkers will be able to catch the battlecruiser. No, they won't. The battlecruiser's going to miss it. Going to be able to teleport in, if we can find it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I was like, did he just teleport that to the back of his own base? No, he did not. This shield battery will take a while to actually deplete. Only 1 probe going down right there, and there's not a whole lot that does well against Blink Stalkers. Mutas, battlecruisers that aren't there, Queens and Hellions. Oh, that's a very aggressive Blink, though, considering the fact that Watami is on his own and on creep right now. I have to say, I don't think this was the play.
Of course, the drones were pulled a little. Now mutas are going to go down here right as they're popping. Bit of an anti-timing as there's that drop on in the main base as well. Now the battlecruiser on the other side of the map doing what it can, but I think there are enough. It looks like there are enough stalkers there to back it up. Actually, not really. Well, Yamato is done now, so we can Yamato one of them down. What is our teleport timer?
Battery overcharge is off cooldown, by the way. Very important to note. He could overcharge the shield, but actually he's just going to win the fight. Jeez. Okay. A lot of pressure is being received right now from Nalcan and Luman. Blink away, not going to be able to keep all these stalkers alive. Ling Muta will do quite well against stalkers if there are enough Lings to kind of deal with the stalkers.
Oh, so there's a second battlecruiser somewhere. I hear. Okay, yeah, just serving to be a little bit defensive, as it looks like Luman now ready to take his 3rd base, and yes, damage was done. Don't get me wrong. Although nice job with the mutas, we'll be able to do what it can to target these medevacs down. One will get Yamato down, and the other one is just going to die here without. Well, will eventually go down. Wait, actually, did we lose a lot of mutas all of a sudden? Right?
Yeah, 5 mutas just went down.
Man,
that was a lot of losses.
This is a pretty good fight. Yeah, no, that was rather surprising. So suddenly the medevac is no longer going to be quite as good of a trade, but the army of Watame will be forced backwards. And if we look at supply, just for a second, Luman in a pretty good economic position now that he is his 3rd base at around 55, 60 workers. Nalcan just the same. So yes, Watame and Matfus have been doing good damage, but they have not been able to really take the economic lead that one would expect. As Watame, yes, he has a 3rd base on the way now, but he cut his workers at 40. He cut workers at 40 probes to be able to make this Blink Stalker push happen. And to be honest, I mean, it got damage done, but I'm not sure if it got quite enough damage done.
Pardon me. Yeah, no, I do not think it got enough damage done. Watame, as you said, did cut workers, and it was a big commitment. He was only on 37 probes and 3 gases, and that's it's not a lot. And oh man, there is nothing right now to deal with these mutas in the base. Battery overcharge will do a good job of shooing them away, and well, that's going to be enough. damn.
And now we have this fourth base under fire as well. Unfortunately, there's no real good way to defend against this, but now the mutas will find it. And the cars need a... yeah, I was just saying, the dogs are not there. The mutas in the sky. Now the dogs, we have the cars. And most of these Blink Stalkers will go down. Fourth base will be able to get taken, but he does really need to knock those rocks down. Does need to be able to make sure that he's able to defend that. As now we have a push on the right-hand side, but it looks like now Kian and Luman are aware of this fact, and they are all prepared to make sure that they can defend it as well.
There's actually a ton of mutas right here. Viking plus some Marines will take this down, but there's actually not... Well, yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about fighting in right there. He does pick off a tank. Only loses maybe 2 mutas for it, 3 mutas. And now they can clean up this force very, very cost efficiently. Oh, as long as it doesn't just escape. Oh, well, I don't know about the mutas just picking a fight here, but... Oh, there we go. Lings from the left side. Nope, just going to go right on by. But there we go. That is the fight they're looking for, and they will clean this up.
So my question is, I don't believe we don't have a Roach Worm, we don't have a Hydrodon, we don't have anything like that, but +1 ranged attack is on the way along with Carapace. I've gotta figure, considering that their Bailey Nest was just completed, that is a mistake. If it's not, I'm excited to see what now Kian has prepared for us here, because that is rather interesting. Because now the DTs that were getting worked on earlier, they're just gonna get a lot of mules, which it's damage, but it's not permanent damage, right? It delays the burst, the spikiness of a Terran's economy. Now, as Zerglings run on in here, they will be forced back. Interestingly enough, Luman has gone for a planetary on his 4th base. Now, this is a strict contest, a marked contrast from what we saw at UCI in game number 3, where instead we had a planetary as the natural and the 3rd and the 4th base from one of our Terran players. So we have greed, we have economic greed, and we have positional greed. I guess that's how you do it if you get all the building upgrades.
Oh, that's a lot of mutas in the middle of the map that just got caught out. A ton of mutas, in fact. 17 have now gone down in this game, and at least, I think, 5 went down there. Bane speed, by the way, not yet done. And that is going to mean this attack is a little bit scarier than maybe it should be.
All right, so now these charge lists, they will be able to cancel this 4th base, or this, 5th base. They will go down, but now, of course, the scary thing is the positional battle that is happening from Matfist, from Atami here. Now, Matfist has a massive amount of supply, but his opponent, or his partner, does not. He just has a bunch of carriers on the way, but with these tanks all sieged up, they're in a pretty good spot here. This battlecruiser should be able to clear off the last tank as well. Not a great engagement from our green and teal team. I will say one thing that is getting blown up in this game because of how gorgeous the map is my FPS. But now the mutas are going to do what they can to get on top of these towers once again.
Oh, God. That stack up made me so nervous. Yamato Cannon coming down on the Thor. It does, of course, do a lot of damage to it, but it does not one-shot Thor, so that's something that is important to note. Meanwhile, Watame, look at this carrier transition coming down, but he does not have a ton of supply. His economy is pretty good. 68 workers, 4 bases. I mean, really, it's, 3.5 because, of course, the main is starting to mine out. But, yeah, it feels like this is a vulnerability right now. And, wow, did they identify that this is a carrier transition? Oh, they did. Yeah.
Did they get anything? Have they seen this, or was this just a matter of...
I think he either they scanned or they saw the starports, or the Stargates.
Yes, they did. They saw the starports. Yes, Stargates. There we go. So we do see Corruptors on the way here now. Unfortunately, Luman is pretty close to max, actually, never mind. Now Kian is the Zerg player, and he's not close to max in the slightest. So more Corruptors are going on the way. But Matfist, he's just trying to be as annoying as possible. Buy time for Watame to get to that just terrifying maxed out sky tossed army. Now we do have a drop on the right-hand side as well. It does not appear that now Kian or Luman are aware of. So they will have to deal with that. We'll be able to have to send something there, but the scary thing, of course, is the push on the middle as well. And it looks like now Kian Luman, they're just going to bypass this in its entirety. This run by here will be able to force the army up, and now this drop should be able to kill this base as well. So that's some really good economic damage coming in from our green and teal team. But the blue army, is devastating and deadly across the map. Mutas and Corruptors, they're just going to jump on top of all these carriers, and that is a terrifying, a tremendously bad situation here.
No.
Bailey's going to run on into the middle line as well. They're all going to go down, and there's just no army for Watami here. Sure, the green Terran army is in a decent position, but it looks like now Luman, he's found the flank. He's going to be able to get a siege up. Battlecruisers on top of everything, and yeah, this is actually looking really good for our blue team.
Yeah, the Naukion Luman squad is doing a great job. Although fighting into these Marines and Thors, that is not the play right there. And that actually, oh wow, those BCs actually survived. Are you kidding me right now? 33 HP and 67 HP, very timely tactical jump. But that was a very successful push. Now Matfus still has a ton of supply, but Watame just had his carrier count, his Golden Armada, absolutely slaughtered. Oh, and now one of these drops, well, actually, both these drops are going to get taken out there. Nice cleanup, and he killed off the 2 bases on the right side, and that really hampered the Zerg.
Yeah, the good news for Watame here is Matfus is rich. He's spreading all those dollar bills all over the map. And in doing so, he has a big enough, especially now that he's maxed, he has a bank to be able to allow his partner to come back into the game by just dropping tons of money on him, as you can see right now, as you see the minerals and gas spiking and spiking and spiking. As we did see that go up for a moment. And now we have carrier production on the way once again, +2 air attack on the way. And Matfus, well, he's found himself in an excellent position as more and more command centers on the way. So we should see him starting to sacrifice his economy, his workers just a little bit more as he has mules that he needs to come back. And now with this planetary is just about not done yet. And there's just not a lot to deal with these Marines on the ground. These Thors, what are their upgrades? It is, oh wow, actually, Luman with the massive upgrade lead, from a mech perspective. So these Thors are just standing strong. Everything in the sky goes down. And sure, this base goes down, but this is a base for the entire army of Watame and most of the army of Matfus. As I say, the Marines getting on top of these Thors and getting a little bit better account of themselves than I would have expected. As he got 2 bases, I believe.
Yeah, he did get 2 bases. Now, Luman had mass expanded behind all this. Oh, Corruptors? Yeah, you don't want to... Or I guess that was a carrier that wandered forward? What is... Man, this is such a messy, sloppy game from both players. An absolute slugfest slobber knocker, as it will. Look at the combined resources lost. It's almost identical. Oh, that's a sad tank right there.
Yeah, so now we do have this base on the right-hand side. This Thor will just get shredded here. And now we have, what is that, 1 carrier? Of course, Corruptors cannot really dive on top of that at the moment. Not with, well, actually, there's not a lot of Marines. But more importantly, there's not a lot of slash, and all of these Thors will go down. Unfortunately, it looks like Luman and now Cat have overextended themselves, overstayed their welcome here on this left-hand side of the map. Now, the carrier count will get reset once again. But at this point, it's not the carrier count that's scary. It's the army of Matfus. And he is the only one that's looking real healthy in this game. Looks like Naukian, Luman, neither of them have been able to maintain their economy. But Matfus has. And he's sitting here at 200 supply. Pretty much, yeah, doing a pretty good job for himself. But now we have a bunch of Zerg that's going to try to get on top of this. Yeah, that is not going to work. Not with the, well, yeah, just not with the 3-3 bio. And yeah, this is fights taking place all over the map. Now, the good news for Luman, he does have that base on the left-hand side that has not been scouted as of yet. But now we have this scary charge lot tank bio army. I know I'm gonna stop trying to talk about army compositions. It's just we wouldn't be talking about anything else. And now it looks like the army of Matfus Watame has maybe found their position to the upper left. They are maybe aware. Yes, they are. Okay, there we go. Now they will be aware of this last mining base of Luman. But we do have battle cruisers on the way, and there are not a ton of Thors.
No, there are not. And, well, look at this. Naukion adding on more factories. Oh, this planetary. It is going to get some trades, but it will go down at the end of the day. And, well, God, Luman is really trying to just out-expand and expand his way to a victory. DTs, meanwhile, are going to find these bases on the right side. This is a lot of DTs from Watame, and this is really starting to look very, very dire for the Zerg Terran team at this point for UCI. Bainley's going to try and roll forward. They do a lot of damage, but most of the bio does escape to the top side. These Broodlords, there's only 4 of them, but oh my god, this SCV slaughter is brutal for Luman.
Absolutely. Now, Luman does find himself still with a decent bank, still at a decent supply, but now Kian, I fear, has been knocked out of this game. He only has 2 hatcheries, and yes, he has some, well, he has some Broodlords, and they are nice, but they are only, what are they? No, they're plus 2 Broodlords, so that they do pack a punch, but you do need to have something on the ground underneath them to be able to deal with that. And with the drop, with the DTs on the right-hand side, there's nothing left for our, well, for our blue team to be able to defend these Broodlords. And as these Broodlords go down, now Kian, he's really not going to have a whole lot left. Yes, he does have some corruptors, but he's sitting here with no minerals. He cannot build any more Broodlords, so these corruptors find themselves pretty much useless, as it is turned into a 2v1 at this point. And Matfis Watame, they have an economy left up. They have tech. They have control of the map, and these random stalkers will find their way on into this 4th base of Luman here. And unfortunately, it looks like Watame, Mathpas, Kandrew and Mathpas have put their team in a dominated position, as now we do have the army of Mathpas stemming on and just annihilating the economy once again. Yes, there are Zerglings there, but this is 3-3 stemmed bio. It is terrifying, and slowly, ever so slowly, we see Neocan and Luman dripping out, bleeding out. It is death by 1,000 paper cuts. And unfortunately, the paper just got a little bit thinner. The cuts more deep, more severe. And Matfis Watame, they are inches away from being able to take their team to a 3-1 lead. And that's when it gets rather scary, rather terrifying for UC Irvine Antis #1.
Yeah, and that is indirectly, that kind of shows the power of having such a strong player. Is it just puts so much pressure on the team. Even a battle cruiser and the Thor that popped out getting taken out there, these Stalkers getting so much value. And during all of this, Watame and Matfus are taking the left top corner of the map. They are just absolutely going to be obliterating their opponents. Oh, these DTs, they have Blink, and they're going to find so much of the mech army. Oh my god, so many Thors being obliterated right now. And the scan is not even, yeah, with Lings coming in. Oh, okay, no, it is enough. Yeah, the Lings were on the other team. God, 2v2s are hard to follow sometimes. But that was so much damage to the only thing they had going for them, which was the strength of the army. And now Naukian and Luman are down a combined 150 odd supply. I don't think they can recover in this game at all.
They are below, combined, they have less supply than Matfis has by himself. And yes, they may have some good tech here, but now we have the Marines, everything stemming in. These Baneleys are going to get some okay connections. Looks like they were able to target him, or that Matfis was able to target down at the last second. And with these Stalkers on the right-hand side, the drop as well. Matfis and Watame, they are in the jugular. Their foot is on the throat. And it's just a question of whether there is anything at all that Naucan and Luman are able to do. I don't believe so. I think it's more of a question of how long it's going to take. And there we have it. GG. UCSD is going up 3-1 in this quarterfinals.
Yeah, and that is the bells of doom ringing here for this UCI team, as you have to be thinking to yourself, when does the hammer come down? When do they put out Vindicta? And when does our when does our tournament life come to its end? You know, it's not a guarantee. You never know. Anything can happen. But you got to be feeling really uncomfortable about their situation right now.
So you got to imagine that we're going to see Veritas here on Submarine.
Yeah.
And there's the opportunity. It is Vindicta. And actually, I think you absolutely go Vindicta here, because then, even if that doesn't work out, you can use Vindicta in the 2v2 in the following map. So you get 2 chances of having him ace it out, along with whoever that is.
Yeah. You do have a couple of options. The thing is, it's not just Vindicta, who is an incredibly strong player. You could go Flume, and it would be a really, really frightening situation to go up against.
Absolutely. You are not incorrect. Yep, there we go. It's Vindicta. We have the rematch. Veritas, he's going to have to try some... Okay, so here's the thing. If Veritas... If I'm Veritas here, and I know I'm playing Vindicta first round, I'm not necessarily going to be throwing out my craziest thing. Because I know I'm probably going to lose. And I know, just because our teams are decently matched, I know I'm going to need to be good. I'm probably going to have to play him again, and in doing so, that's the one that's going to matter. So if I'm prepping one build order, the one build in the world that I think can beat Vindicta, this is the map we're going to see it on. It is Submarine. It is room for a little bit more cheesy things. And if there's that one map that makes the difference between that keeps UCI in the game, that one build that can keep UCI in the game, I apologize, it's going to be this one. So I'm excited what we're going to see here. It's got to be something, because Vindicta, he is scary, he is terrifying, and he's sitting here poised to put his team on into the finals.
That he is, and I mean, it's... I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit more, little bit later when Vindicta maybe brought the hammer down, but you gotta respect it, and this is something that I think a lot of teams are kind of, you know, this is the fear, right? This is the terror of this player, and, you know, being down, being on match point, and having to go up against the, I mean, Doombringer of the league. We're going to see if he can close it out, spawning down in the bottom right position, representing the UCSD Tritons. It is Vindicta in the blue.
And in the upper left, in the red, will he be the truth, the way, the light, the path forward? It's Veritas.
It is truth versus vengeance. Vindicta doesn't really have anything to get vengeful for, but you talked about it, and you have absolutely nailed it down tight, proxying 2 additional barracks here, and this is the big brain play that could potentially be what they need. I love this so much.
Here's the 3 barracks. We do have that barracks on the main base as well, but here's the thing: Vindicta did go gas first. And in the merry-go-round of builds, it's gas first that is good against Proxy Reaper. So Vindicta, well, he's found himself in a pretty good position. We do have 2 gas for both players. Vindicta's got a little bit quicker, as again, it's gas first. Now the SCV will go across the map, and we'll see. Yes, okay, it actually is going across the map. We'll go across the map. We'll find that there is a barracks in the wall and see that there is a wall there. So that will tell him something. Or it tells him that maybe Veritas doesn't really want to let it be known what he's doing. But he has to make sure that this SCV doesn't get on him.
No.
Oh no! Oh! That was Vindicta could have gotten in there.
He absolutely could have, and he doesn't. Oh man, you do not want to let Vindicta see this SCV coming back home. That would be a huge red flag right there. Now, there is definitely still the possibility that this can 100% work for Veritas, even though this is a 2-gas quote-unquote defensive opening. That's normally very good against just 2 barracks of Reapers, but this is going to be 3. And, well, oh my, he cancels the starport, and he's going to try and expand. This is what Veritas is probably looking for right here. Okay, this is his chance. This is his moment. The Reapers are going to get jumped on. One of them will go down.
Immediately. Okay, so this natural will never get up, but now the question is, how do the Reapers get on into the high ground? What do we have here? We have, again, Reaper and Hellion production, but we're going to have 5 Reapers here for the moment. The trick is Veritas needs to make sure he doesn't eat the splash too hard, but now the Reapers are going to get up on top, and it looks like the Reapers are going to get on top of the SCV, but now there are 2 Hellions here. One, of course, yeah, okay, actually, there's going to be repair, and an excellent hold from Vindicta. He's going to clean this off with flying colors.
He just killed off 4 Reapers of his opponent. That is a massive loss for Veritas. And, well, he will pick off that SCV in the natural for a moment. I think Vindicta at this point has identified what is going on, and he is going to be very, very mobile, ultra mobile at this point. But he is still not out of the woods just yet. He doesn't have a ton of production. What will really shut this down is an air unit. And it's going to be a medevac here, which is probably a good idea. The ability to heal Reapers and pick them up is a good one. Oh, that is a lot of splash damage coming on these Reapers. Nothing goes down on either side, but that does buy Vindicta a lot more time.
Yeah, and Mount, when you talk about how all in this is, Veritas only now getting his orbital. So he has been so far behind from an economic perspective compared to Vindicta for so long in this game. Oh, that splash. Oh, no. Decent splits. Actually, there's the Reaper grenades doing a good job of making sure that the Reapers split up, but that's not going to make the difference here, as another Reaper will go down. Nice pullback micro there from Vindicta, and now he's almost doubling up the supply of his opponent. There we have it. GG. UCSD is moving on to the finals.
That was about the best we could have hoped for at the very end there. A really tough opponent in Vindicta, but a solid build and a good opportunity to try and take it down. However, it ends up being just not enough. And as you said, UCSD will go on to the finals. I don't think we currently know who they're going up against, but it is the winner of the UVU Riders of Brohan and the University of Chicago. We love OMG a banana. And the University of Chicago had a really, really great match last week, and I'm low-key rooting for them a little bit, as they are one of those teams that did beat the Tritons, and I think they would put a really strong performance up against them in that grand finals.
Well, you say that, but both teams on the upper side of the bracket have beaten UCSD this season. UVU did beat UCSD. It says 6-2.
That's got to be 3-1.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, nothing else would really make sense. That would be.
This doesn't. What? It's a best of 5. How is it 6-2? But anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, no, yeah, it was 3-1. It just was rendering wrong. So both these teams in the upper bracket have knocked off UCSD before. However, these were in the best of 5s, where Vindicta is maybe a little bit less scary than what you would normally than what you would see normally. Although I wish it would tell me who won what. I'm pretty sure Vindicta beat Sojourn, and that was the difference. And then UVU won with their 2v2s, and that would not surprise me. UVU has probably had the best 2v2 setup of any team in this league, at least this year, at least from what I have seen. That's kind of where they make their money. And as long as they can win 1v1, that is what the difference is. But this is a best of 7 coming up. In the semifinals and in the finals, it's the best of 7. Superstar players, they matter more, as we saw in this series. You can use them more often, and that gives you more map wins, which makes it that much easier to secure yourself that overall victory. So I'm excited. Whoever wins in the series, UVU versus University of Chicago. What I am certain of is the fact that we're gonna have a crazy matchup in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we will. It is gonna be a fantastic one. We certainly don't know who's won yet between the University of Chicago and the Riders of Brohan, but it will be a worthy opponent for UCSD regardless. It's, unless I'm mistaken, we are off next week, correct?
We are. It is American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So there is no broadcast next week. We have the grand finals the week after that, I believe. I
think you're right about that. But for now, I am going to bid you adieu for the moment, and we're going to have an interview with T-Dragon, the captain of the UCSD team. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to hear some thoughts.
I am as well. So I'm going to bid you adieu. I'm going to listen to that interview, and I will be back once that is done with. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Sounds good. All right, so we're just going to give a quick little call here to T-Dragon. Okay, there we go.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. Good to have you on again, and I'm sure it is an exciting time for you. First of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you for having me again. I'm T Dragon. I'm captain of the UCSD Starcraft team.
Well, first things first, congratulations. You guys just took
Thank you.
down a definitely not. I mean, I'm sure you were going into it feeling pretty comfortable. Vindicta, of course, and Flume, both big players. You had a fantastic 2v2 showing as well. That second 2v2 was a banger, by the way. It was really well
Yes,
done.
definitely.
But still, it's still always a dicey scenario going up against some of these other squads. How was your preparation going into this week?
Yeah, so the last time that you interviewed us, we were definitely not in the best position to be in. So we had just, I believe, lost to U of C.
Yeah,
And
University of
so
Chicago. Yeah.
Right, and so that was the moment in the group stages when we started thinking, okay, this whole thing about like winging it and just trying to macro our way out of 2v2s, it's not gonna work. The 2v2 meta, however unclear it is, it's definitely dominated by builds, by stuff that's actually prepped and coordinated, and so we really took that to heart, and we started prepping a lot. So I personally have not been prepping that much. It's all on my guys. I'm very proud of them. They uh, obviously with our quarter coming to a close here at UCSD, things have been kind of chaotic because midterm season is basically from week 2 up until finals.
Oh wow.
So it's the entire quarter, right? So people have exams every week. Some people have an exam. Uh, there was one week where we had an exam every day, at least one person.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, and so it's not easy going on the UC quarter system. I know University of Chicago also have a quarter system, but um, we after those losses, we were thinking to ourselves, okay, we need to prep. We have to find time throughout the week to coordinate, and my guys came through. They were prepping consistently. They were prepping several nights in a row up until today. Even a little bit this morning, just like finding spare time outside of their projects, outside of their exams, and so I'm very thankful for that. They really put in the time and the effort, and I think it paid off. So.
Oh, I was gonna say it absolutely paid off. It was a huge, and things were looking like kind of rough for them for a little bit, but like they really dug in their heels and put a fantastic performance, especially in game number 2 of the 2v2s.
Yes, definitely.
So obviously, moving forward, you mentioned the University of Chicago. Regardless of who gets out, I think both of those teams have beaten you in the regular season. So you're going to be, I'm sure, looking with a little bit of hunger and a little bit of thirst for vengeance. Is there going to be any difference? Obviously, you have the week off with American Thanksgiving. You have a week off till the grand finals. Is there any difference between how you're going to approach it this week versus next week, or I guess 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. So recently, for the playoffs at least, I started looking through the replays in my spare time, just trying to pick out patterns in our opponents' play styles, and just generally scouting what we may or may not encounter. And I think that helped us prep for our matches in the playoffs so far. But that being said, we can't count anything out because I'm sure at least some of our opponents might be thinking or doing the same thing. And I think that having that extra week might help us. Obviously, a lot of us are planning to take some time off, especially as I mentioned, the quarter system being so quick, if not rigorous.
Yeah.
I think that especially with both UVU and U Chicago, we're definitely going to have to see what they've done in the past, try to theory craft what they could do in the future, and just go from there. And that's not to say that we'll be completely responsive. We've definitely had some creative minds, just sort of, thinking of our own strategies and thinking, okay, well, this build, even though it's risky, it blind counters this, and that, for example, and that kind of thing. So, I mean, we're just gonna stick to our guns, and I think we got a good thing going. So.
Oh, I think you guys have a great thing going. I would 100% agree with that. And if realistically, I feel like you have to be feeling, if we're coming out of the first four matches in a 2v2 situation, like if it's 2-2 coming out of the first matches, I feel like you have to be feeling very comfortable with your 2v2 squads, the preparation you put in, and then Flume and Vindicta just waiting in the wings. Like it's got to be a
Right.
really good feeling.
Right. Definitely.
Now, this is something that I've done on a couple interviews recently. It's putting you on the spot a little bit, but why don't you tell me something about the university that is kind of like, someone, obviously, a mascot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's stuff that people know on the surface, but something that maybe people don't know about the university, the UCSD, that's kind of like a trade secret, a hidden thing. An Easter egg, if I may.
Does it have to be positive? Does it have to shine us in a good light?
No, absolutely not. As long as it's not like horrific, I think it's totally fine.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just preface this by saying, while I'm glad that we're going to the finals, it definitely didn't sit right with me being a UC team kill, because I think that all of us in the UCs are proud to represent California, and I think that the fact that there's so many of us competing in this is a testament to our commitment to the game. So that being said, we do have certain nicknames for each of the UCs. So I'll just tell you, UC San Diego is also known as UC Socially Dead, and that's because and that's because we're definitely known for how little we comparatively party when you look at the other UCs. Let me just say, I seriously think that this nickname is outdated, but at least it kind of sort of complements how studious we are, I think, maybe. That's just something that, so that's just something about UC San Diego.
It's a cute story. It's not like, it's not heinous.
Right.
I know that I live in Ontario, Canada, and I know that there's rhymes about some of the universities. Like there's one called Brock, and it's if you can walk and talk, you can go to Brock. And then there's one York. If you can hold a fork, you can go to York. So yours is at least complimentary in its own way. It's like a backhanded compliment. But it's a neat little thing. Do you have any of the other ones handy? Do you have any of the other nicknames?
Well, a new one for San Diego. Okay, so this is just from my personal friend group. So back in freshman year, a lot of things happened, and we called ourselves students of UC Study Drunk, which is obviously the complete opposite of Socially Dead. But we were definitely inspired by UC Santa Barbara, which has always been known as UC Study Buzz.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, a UC is a UC. It's I would hope that we're still a community that upholds, inclusion and diversity, and doesn't do too much of the of the stuff that distracts. But yeah.
Well, that's a nice little heartwarming moment added on at the end there. I like that. So that's great. We're looking forward to you next week. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to on the team or in general or any social media? This is the shout out moment, basically.
Yeah. I just want to give a big shout out to my entire team. They've definitely been showing. And like I said, they've really been practicing hard when the quarters started ramping up. Usually it sort of happens this way where the team commits ample time in the beginning of the season, and then because things happen, they start to drop off, or the passion isn't really there. But for these guys, I think the passion is growing. I think they have the same hunger that I do. I think that we're going to take it all the way. And so, big shout out to the alumni, especially for agreeing to let me put them on the roster again. because of course this is essentially volunteer time for them. They have their own lives. They're doing their own thing, but they agreed to help us out here. So
That's very cool. That's nice that you guys have a fantastic community. So two things now. One from the chat. Actually, I guess both from the chat. But BeoMulf coming up with UC Starcraft domination. That's a good one.
So.
Yeah,
we hope so. Yep.
Yeah, you just got one more match to lay down and prove that. And then big shout out from a bunch of people in the chat for your smile there. Wow. People are loving the smile.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm glad that it comes off that way.
Yeah, it's they're loving your positive energy, and it's been great to have you on. Thank you so much. Good luck next week. It is going to be a fantastic, 2 weeks from now. I keep saying next week. There's a bye week, so ignore what I'm saying. But 2 weeks from now, good luck with that. You guys are going to have a really fantastic match. Hopefully it goes to game number 7. And
yes,
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Awesome. Have a wonderful afternoon.
All right. You too.
Awesome. That was the charming T-Dragon from UCSD. And we're going to bring BeoMulf back on. Congratulations once again to the University of California Starcraft domination. Study drunk. Oh, that's funny. That's cheeky right there. And we'll bring BeoMulf back on. We'll do our shout outs. And then we will sign off for this week. And once again, next week, we are not going to be bringing you any coverage. But the week after that, we will be back with round of 8 action for the collegiate side and the grand finals. Round of 8 action for the corporate side. And then the grand finals for the collegiate side. So that is going to be a lot of fun right there. And yeah, we're just bringing back BeoMulf in a moment here, I hope. Either way, big shout out once again to the CEA for having us both on. Big shout out to Gilded.gg for the sponsoring this whole event, as well as Shopify. And look at that, we are joined once again by the handsome and charming BeoMulf. How you doing?
Well, you know what? I'll take one of those. I don't know if I if both those apply, but I'll take it. Thank you so much. I love listening to that interview, hearing all the different names of about UCSD. It's a fun time. I went to Arizona State, which is only known for its partying and for the fact that it's hot all year round. So I understand that. I get that one. But luckily for UCSD, they got an excellent StarCraft program on top of things. And, they're a pretty good school. So that was a fun interview. You got some great answers. You asked some great questions. I very much enjoyed listening to what I could. Short the last 2 minutes, of course.
Yeah. The unfortunate effect. But what are your thoughts on, I guess, the extra week of preparation? Do you think it's going to change how things shake down for these teams, or are we going to see pretty similar level of prep?
I think in most years it would not. I think in most years you have people going home for Thanksgiving and it's finals weeks or reading week, finals weeks, whatever the case may be. However, in the age of COVID, when people are most likely not traveling nearly as much, if they are, and you still got finals, but that's just one less thing off your plate. You're not traveling for Thanksgiving. I think in that case, this may actually provide both teams with the opportunity to just up their game plan. That being said, I don't believe this gives, if anything, I think this gives one more advantage to UCSD. Because Vindicta is used to doing tournament prep. He has access. I don't know if Alpha X is he's going to be able to use it. But there are people that, members of the Alpha X staff that, for say, Estrella and the GSL would just do tons of replay analysis for him. So he just had these really, for the tournaments he does, is really good idea of what's happening. I don't know if he's going to be able to make use of that, but that's the case. And T-Dragon has been a big force in TESPA in this league for quite a while. So if anyone knows how to wrangle a team together to make sure that they know they have custom builds and they have scouted and they've done everything. It is players like this. Whereas University of Chicago, UVU, I think UVU said this is the first time they've had a team when we interviewed them once. And University of Chicago has not been traditionally one of those incredibly strong CSL teams, one of those traditionally strong, incredible TESPA teams. So there's the in-game skill and there's the out-of-game skill, and I do believe UCSD just has a little bit more experience in that matter.
Yes, I would agree with that a little bit. Yeah, you said it pretty well, pretty succinctly. As we sign off, though, for the afternoon and for the day, where can the folks find you?
Well, I got a wonderful spiel. First of all, follow me on Twitter. It's below my name. If my name is showing on stream at the moment, if my face is showing on stream at the moment, excuse me. It's BeoMulf at BeoMulf_SC2. I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/BeoMulf, and I stream on Trovo, trovo.live/BeoMulf, depending on what the tournament is. I will be live next week, probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Saturday evening. No, maybe not. We'll see. Actually, not Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, because it's Thanksgiving. I'll figure it out. I will be live with the round of 8 onwards of the NE Apprentice Cup. We're gonna have to figure that one out. I need to talk to the tournament organizer about that one because it is Thanksgiving, and I cast the Exxon Cup weekly on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes with Steadfast, sometimes with Ash Plishkin. It's always a good time. But anyways, wherever I am, I tweet where I'm going live. So that's kind of the easiest way to figure out what I'm streaming, when I'm streaming, where I'm streaming, why I'm streaming. So yeah, that's about it. How about you, Steadfast?
Well, you can follow me on, first of all, follow this channel right here, twitch.tv/CEA_SC2. You can follow me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/SteadfastSC. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SteadfastSC2. Follow me on YouTube, YouTube Steadfast_SC2. But yeah, once again, a big thank you to the CEA for having us both on here. It's been an absolute pleasure. The games have been amazing. I would definitely recommend checking out the CEA YouTube as well. I would say the best match of the season, bar none, has been the match we commentated last week between the University of Chicago and... oh man, I'm putting myself on the spot right now. Just give me a second. The University of Chicago and UC Davis. So yeah, a little bit of an opportunity potentially for some University of California retribution if the University of Chicago does win out and make it to the grand finals. Some cool storylines shaping up there. But yeah, that's... Oh, sorry, go on.
Because I think regardless, there's going to be some retribution, as both UVU and UChicago have taken down UCSD in the past. UVU doing it a little bit more recently, even. Or, no, yeah. UVU doing it a little bit more recently. So, regardless of what happens, we're going to have some insane storylines. As I'm just going to check the playoffs one more time. We don't have the results for that yet. Okay.
Yeah, not quite yet, but we will soon, I'm sure. It's been a fantastic time. Really looking forward to it. We're going to take the bye week off. We're going to have ourselves some rest, and we will be back on the December 5th, it seems, is going to be the day that we will return. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be the grand finals of the collegiate side. And as I said, the round of 8 for the other. For now, this is myself and BeoMulf signing off. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Stay safe, everyone.